welcome to the live.
Yes, welcome guys. Look, I don't know what y'all been doing, but some things is shifting and it's really up to you to choose what's gonna happen next. Like what's really important to you because things are just unfolding right in front of if you are paying attention, you would know, hey, these next I'd say this wow, we are more than halfway through. Think about that. This is the seventh month. So, some things are changing fast, and if you are not with the times, you're going to be left behind or you're going to be replaced. So, you got to get with it.
Yeah, they're already replacing nurses and doctors with robots.
Think
And
about
the
that.
people in America, a lot of them are just not completely awake and aware the way
Hmm.
they should be. Because listen to this, I found this statistic. By 2050, all Americans are going to be replaced.
That's
How
deep.
many years is that? 25 years from now?
That's deep.
All Americans will be replaced with robots. They're calling it 80% workforce dominance. Now, I think sometimes elder people may not really care
Hmm.
about this fact because they're like, hey, I'm an elder, it doesn't really matter. But if you have children, nieces, nephews, you should leave quickly. You should leave, period, point blank. We say this unapologetically. Not only should you leave, but you need to be self reliant. Do not depend on a W 2 job because listen, from Business Insider Africa, here is the list of major companies laying off staff this year, including Microsoft, Bumble, Morgan Stanley, and Meta. Okay, this was published on Business Insider Africa July 2nd. Layoffs and other workforce reductions are continuing in 2025 following 2 years of significant job cuts across weight, tech, media, finance, manufacturing, retail, and energy.
Think about that. Like, really. Really think about that.
AI intelligence is reshaping all workforces. Right here it says some, but listen, we're going to break it down that it's going to affect all work. Be like, well, it's not that comfortable to become an entrepreneur. And well, you have to pick you're comfortable. It's either be replaced or be self-sufficient. And
Yeah.
so it's like, which one would you rather do at this rate? Because listen to this, while the reasons for slimming staff vary, the cost cutting measures are coming amid technological change. In a recent World Economic survey, 41% of companies worldwide said they expected to reduce their workforce over the next 5 years because of the rise of artificial intelligence. Companies like CNN, Dropbox, and Block have previously announced job cuts related to AI. Meanwhile, tech jobs in big data, fintech, and AI are expected to double by 2030. Okay, so this is the type of situation where you don't have a lot of options. Your main option is to leave and to be an entrepreneur. Those are your two options. And that you would be wise to start to look into AI. Don't depend on it for everything, but at least understand some of the language, start to understand how you can be replaced so you can hedge yourself because we are coming into an era of the world and again it's going to impact America and the Western civilizations the worst.
Yeah, you got to, man, you just got to know what is happening is not going to stop. It's not just about to go back to how everything was. And I know that's a lot of people's thoughts, but we got to know that what's happening right now is going to be the future. So you're gonna have to, at least have some type of knowledge. Like you got to know what's really important to you. Like, cause everything is gonna change. It's not gonna be normal no more. You're gonna have to figure out how to survive in the world to come or like really because if you don't have a job what you gonna do if you do not know how to make money online if you're not an entrepreneur you get what I'm saying it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, leverage
It's
the technology before it leverages you.
exactly it's not something that you can learn in 2 days. You get what I'm saying? Can you imagine just put it just put this in perspective. Just imagine if you have no money, no food, right? And you gotta learn how to get your money online just to eat. It's not gonna be no 2 day process. I mean, hopefully it will be,
It won't be.
but
It takes time.
like with me saying that, it takes time. It takes time. You have to get out your comfort zone. You got to get used to systems. You got to get used to technology. You got to get used to it before you can like literally replace your income. That's why we've been saying for 5 years. Like, get your money and leverage a U.S. dollar outside
of
the U.S.
That's your main leverage pool
Yeah.
right there. That's the ultimate leverage play, because you get to dismantle your cost of living by 60% if you choose Asian countries or specific African countries.
And it's plenty out there. It's really,
and more opportunities are becoming more than when we left in 2020.
Yeah.
There are more opportunities available, but you just understand it's never going to be the perfect time, but the perfect time is right now, so that AI doesn't leverage you, because at the end of the day, they are already in talks about replacing doctors.
I was just thinking about that.
Doctors.
Think about that, man. Just think about people to school to be a doctor. That's like at least what, 6-8 years?
Yeah.
And then this, dang, I just say
12 years sometimes.
2019, somebody went to school and sacrificed all that time, all the loans, all the money, right, that they got to pay back and stuff, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to get to this point to be like, oh, we don't need you because we have AI and robots. So it's just like,
somebody gotta wake up. Hit the like button as you're coming in, because
there's some things that's about to change. Some people about to be mad, because I know for me, if I was working for 6 years for something that
and got 300K in debt,
and then you got to pay back, or
versus, because get this, I told you this yesterday, there's this worker from Meta who went to he was from, let me look it up. He was from Microsoft and went to Meta. Okay, this guy, he is not a doctor. He is not a lawyer. He's not an accountant. He makes double what Stephen Curry makes, this NBA player. Multi-millionaire. On what skill set? This man is an AI engineer. We already looked it up. AI consultants, AI engineers are the most in demand two skill sets for the foreseeable future, for the rest of the end times, essentially, because those are like the only things that people are investing in. And listen to this. I'm going to continue the blog that we were talking about again from Business Insider Africa. Actually, this one, my bad, I skipped over to Forbes. These jobs will fall first as AI takes over the workplace. Good deliverance. Artificial intelligence is advancing at breakneck speeds. The big question is, how long will it take until technology dominates the job market? You should start thinking about your own career. Will you be caught up in the change, with the U.S. navigating a $36 trillion debt?
Come on, Judge, you can't be...
Understand this. So we look, a $36 trillion debt, tariff tensions, and economic uncertainty, the specter of disruption from AI adds urgency for workers to protect themselves. Artificial intelligence is expected to fundamentally transform the global workforce by 2050. What did we say at the beginning of this video? We don't just get stuff and make it up. Listen, according to reports from the big four consulting firms like PwC, McKinsey, they typically do like accounting, consulting, project management, digital marketing consulting, business development, and the World Economic Forum estimates that up to 60% of current jobs in 2025 will require significant AI adaptation. Automation and intelligent systems will become integral to the workforce, okay? And some statistics out there say 80% dominance by 2050. Now, this is if everything stays as it is, because remember just the last few weeks, those AI TikToks were trending. You couldn't tell if it was a real person or not. Did y'all see those AI TikToks of the black women and you're like, this looked like a real person? And they were just all over the place. And like the influencers were complaining like, oh, they're replacing us. Like if you don't have a legitimate skill set, here are the only 3 skill sets you need. You mainly need to know how to perform creative business writing. and you need to learn how to contribute to the experience economy. Because when you're in an era where robots are taking over your only unique selling position, the only thing that makes you unique is your ability to share your personality, to share what makes you special, which is your story, your upbringing, and how it shapes your worldview, and to articulate that one line and to package it up into a service or product offering. That's it. That's the only skill set aside from AI consulting that is going to survive the next couple of years. On top of Big Beautiful Bill being passed.
Yeah, that's
On
another.
top of the Big
Before we
Beautiful
move
Bill.
into, but I did want to say this. You got to think about, you got to follow people that are like really investing, because like sometimes I watch channels and they interview a lot of people that got some millions and billions of dollars, right? And they've been saying this for the past 10 years about technology, AI, and stuff like that. And it's right here in our face. So they saying 2050, 2030 and stuff. And they're like, I believe it's Amazon, right? Amazon, he's literally investing in AI to replace a lot of people, right? And it makes sense. Like, what, like you can invest into a robot that can work all day, and you don't have to like really like pay for like medical stuff and things like that, and social security, and you know it's it's happening. It's really happening. So you got to realize, like, these people, they're not playing. So you really got to understand and like you got to know what is really important to you. How are you going to survive this? How are you going to be in a world with
Robots running
robots?
it.
And it's literally robots or zombies, to be honest. Because if you're not with the times, if you're not into like investing behind the scenes to benefit from what's happening,
Right.
you're gonna be left
Yeah.
behind.
Right.
And
Right.
it's something to really consider. Like it's not anything to joke about. I feel like the only people that's gonna be ahead is the people that's behind the scenes investing into these companies to benefit from these companies that's gonna grow. Cause it's not gonna stop. It's not just gonna just drop out of the sky and be like
Right.
done. Y'all willing, we never know. Whatever the Most High is preparing is for His perfect will. So you always got to keep that in your head too. But this stuff right now is happening, and it's replacing real people. People that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Think about that. Making over 100K, and then you don't make no money because you got
There you go. Zero. Woo.
some people gonna be upset. Some people gonna be like, dang, this is what I've been doing for the past 10, 15, 20 years. Now what do I do?
Yeah, I saw this video of this middle-aged white guy. He was like in tears because he's like in his 50s. He worked at Microsoft and they just let him go on a whim. They're like, look, our company's doing well, because at the end of the day, Microsoft, Meta, all of them, they're actually doing really well. So they're not cutting jobs because they're not functioning well. They're cutting jobs because they found something, an entity that works better than you, person, human. And so when historically people would look at a W-2, a 9 to 5, and be like, okay, this is my way into retirement, they would just sacrifice everything, their health, their peace, everything for this job. But as us and other freelancers, entrepreneurs have been saying, you cannot rely on a job, and we're seeing that very clearly. It has never been more clear. You cannot rely on a W-2. It's here today, gone tomorrow. The only thing you can rely on is entrepreneurship and your own ability to be innovative. Add on top of that, again, because we're talking about high quality storytelling, art, empathy. We're talking about things that make you humane. Your other piece of leverage that we've been saying since 2019 is leaving America. Let me tell you why. Because you're going to have people in the West, in Canada, America, France, Great Britain, and these people are going to feel like they're trapped in a VR machine. And they're going to be watching on YouTube, just like some of you are right now. They're going to be watching people that are living their best lives in Africa and Asia. It's going to become a gold rush for people who are expats and travel abroad. It's going to automatically be this like, oh man, I wish I would have did that.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is the only creativity I feel like I can have because AI just replaced my job. Now you have to have this universal basic income in a couple of years. And on top of that, again, the big beautiful bill, which is making it incrementally difficult for regular American people to just have Medicaid in a society that already doesn't teach you how to use herbal remedies. Because guess what? Here in Africa, they use herbal remedies. Even when you go to the doctor, they'll tell you, hey, take this juice, take these herbs, you'll be good. And they have affordable, very great healthcare, depending on which country in Africa that you're in. But America, on the other hand, people, the average person just has no idea. The education system is failing because now you have children that cannot even read in a first world country. Welcome to third world America. It's
Yeah.
no longer a first world country. Add on top of this, the passing of the big, great, beautiful bill, whatever they call it, is going to make it impossible for people to have Medicaid. We see this issue happening in Texas where this river just floods over 26 feet in 45 minutes. And Trump says, oh, guess what? I cut resources to FEMA. Oh, guess what? I cut resources for the climate change. I cut resources to the weather station. Did y'all see that?
It's
They
so
cut
much
resources
stuff.
to the weather station, meaning in times of a hurricane, they will not warn you because they're understaffed.
Yeah, man. But before we get into that, I do want to play this. This is a video I saw on Instagram, and it said the Godfather of AI, the Nobel Prize,
Nobel Prize.
yeah, has a warning. So this is somebody that is very powerful in AI. Just listen, and let me know if you guys can hear it.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, dear laureates, ladies and gentlemen. This year, the Nobel Committees in Physics and have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence that uses artificial neural networks to learn how to solve difficult computational problems. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning, and it will enable us to create highly intelligent and knowledgeable assistants who will increase productivity in almost all industries. If the benefits of the increased productivity can be shared equally, it will be a wonderful advance for all humanity. Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. It has already created divisive echo chambers by offering people content that makes them indignant. It is already being used by authoritarian governments for massive surveillance and by cybercriminals for phishing attacks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. All of these short-term risks require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations. There is also a longer-term existential threat that will arise when we create digital beings that are more intelligent than ourselves. We have no idea whether we can stay in control. But we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you.
Somebody say, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. What?
Yeah,
These
it's not-
beings from
yeah,
taking over.
Because you said something about these entities, these beings. I'm like, oh, snap, that video. Man, that's deep. This is somebody that is really really probably behind the scenes and created this stuff, right? And he's warning people like this is not science fiction no more. This is real. This is real life. This stuff is taking over. So what are you gonna do about it? Like it can't do nothing for you besides replace you, or you can use it as a tool.
Yeah, but you still have to have that human, empathetic. You have to have that unique selling proposition, that my personality, my story, bringing a product to market that will generate demand in these times. Because again, think about this. When this new American regime, and I'm using that terminology on purpose, this new American regime comes in and says, okay, now we got to do universal basic income because a lot of you guys are out of work. You guys, you had to get your, what is that called? Unemployment. Yeah. Then they're going to introduce other types of checks and stuff. And that gives way to a social credit system where it's like, we get to decide when you eat, if you eat, how much you eat, if your children eat, if your husband, your sister down the road, whoever, that's ultimate control for that system. That's why we say Africa is the last frontier. And actually, if y'all saw that video, ChatGPT said it itself. It said that if it could be any race, it would choose to be African. It would choose to be black. We further asked it, and it said it would choose to be Ethiopian. Like, even if, like that guy said, if it got its own brain and all this stuff, obviously any system can clearly see right from wrong and see, oh, the West is the main problem here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah. That's just what it is. And so the only safe space, or I should say the only two safe regions, are Africa and Asia at this rate.
Yep.
The only two safe regions. One, because they've both been horridly oppressed and colonized. And so just by default, the Most High is going to give his favor to the oppressed of the earth. That's just universal, basic, biblical law. That's just like hot and cold, that period. Then on top of that, you bring in the fact that they are building these, as in the days of Noah, structures. They're going to be trying to bring in certain fallen ones that were previously here in times past. And obviously, when you enter that stuff into those realms, especially in the West, then you're in covenant with those things. So it's really wise to get where you have at least a 60% to 40% lower cost of living. You have your business. You look at different self-employed entrepreneur, digital nomad visas, whatever you need to do. You start saving and investing and living a more local African lifestyle so that you can maneuver in these times to come. Because what's to come is just, it's really crazy. Like, I don't think we can even fathom it, even how much we try to fathom it. Like, think back to 2022. Who knew we'd be watching these AI videos that look like real women and men? Like, none of us thought, like, nobody thought that. Who knew we'd be watching talking gorillas acting like black women? Like, nobody thought that that would even happen. So how much more the next 5 years?
I think we're back. But yeah, I think the news person, the expert at, weather and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's definitely an expert. But if they don't got funding, what can you do?
No funding. Look, the Most High, he just can snap a finger and then stuff happens. So,
ooh, child.
Just go somewhere where there's some mountains close, right? Some land. And
it's neutral.
Do me a favor. Look up water AI used per day.
Okay, how much water AI uses per day?
This is very too. They're talking about how much water AI uses and certain like technology per day, right?
Which is really weird. I didn't understand this.
Me neither, but when I saw that the number or whatever, I was like, whoa, that's wild.
What is it using? I can't comprehend this. AI systems, especially large-scale data centers and model training, use huge amounts of water and energy every day. Most AI water comes from cooling data centers, to cool the computers, where models run 24/7. Estimates per ChatGPT style query every 5 to 50 questions. ChatGPT takes 500 milliliters of water in cooling. That's one bottled water for every 5 to 50 questions. Researchers at UC Riverside and UT Arlington estimate GPT-3 training alone used 700,000 liters of clean water just for cooling. That's over 184,000 gallons.
Think about that, y'all.
Hit the like button, because this is wild. Hit the like button and share this to 10
1 million
people.
Gallons per day. And that's just cooling.
No wonder they're saying it's gonna be a water shortage.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like, it's serious,
oh my God.
Dang, what's that
They
show we saw on Hulu?
Oh, Black Mirror. Oh my gosh. They
No, not
said,
that. Not that.
yes, they had this episode where people like they didn't have enough water because of those data centers. You don't remember that episode? That's my favorite series.
Maybe
Black
I
Mirror.
don't know.
Black Mirror becoming
Dang,
true
what's
nowadays.
what's the show that we always say
What?
with the water, the food and water?
I forget. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, The Grab. The Grab. Go watch
Yeah.
The Grab. Cause it's basic, like it's literally they tell us what's gonna happen. It's the war is about land and water.
You better go somewhere that's chill.
Cause I saw this the other day, 1 million gallons per day.
This is
They said 5 questions is a liter. You know how big a liter is?
AI
like,
needs more water than humans now.
yeah,
Like what?
like for real, like for real. Think about that.
And look at this annual data center usage. Microsoft and Google both self-report billions of gallons of water used per year globally. Google used 5.6 billion gallons of water in 2022.
3 years ago. So this is
Microsoft's water use jumped 34% in 1 year.
34. Dang, I wish I was investing in that stock, huh? Look, that. See,
They are taking water from humans to feed robots in America.
Yeah. Look, they
In
take it from
Dubai.
you to. That it's all planned. It's all planned. They are all together. Bill Gates and everything. He talking about we overpopulated and stuff like that, and you know, he trying to chip people in Kenya and everything, and so like this is what happens when you really do the research behind this stuff. So the best thing to do is to get somewhere where you know that the land's gonna be sustainable for you in the future, where it's gonna be producing for you in the future.
And maybe go somewhere that's not the most developed.
Yeah.
Maybe go somewhere
where-
that's kind of like off the beaten path. Go
Where you
somewhere
know
that
you can,
mimics the narrow way.
Exactly. Like you got to follow the ancient path. Like scriptures is not lying because they're taking the water. So that's why I say just imagine if Africa shut their borders and just start using their own land and resources for itself. Because that's what it's
Which
gonna
they
come
are.
down to.
Yeah,
'Cause
they already
like,
started.
just think the whole continent of Africa is water everywhere. Just imagine they shut that thing down.
Lakes, rivers, the Nile. And you know, the Nile goes deep into Zimbabwe.
So it's like you got to think for the next generation.
Congo
Not
has
just the
rivers.
next generation, their childhood, their adulthood too.
The Sahel is turning into green space instead of desert. Like, we don't know how many different ways we can say it, but we'll continue to, because listen to this. Estimates suggest training GPT used 1,287 NWHs of water, but the average U.S. household uses only 10
Per year.
NWHs per year. Okay, so your water bill is going to be going up because your new neighbor AI is using up all your water. Okay? They're using all the water. And you know, America is already short on quality water. Look at Flint, Michigan,
Yeah.
and all the fluoride they put in the water. Rare earth metals and chips. AI accelerates demand for GPUs, the rare earth metals and chips, which require copper, cobalt, lithium, rare earth elements. Mining for these has environmental costs. AI boom equals a big surge in semiconductor fab demand, perfect for stocks, horrible for water. And then, you know, AI model training often has the same carbon footprint as taking dozens of transatlantic flights. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's deep, y'all. It's like that's why I say you gotta get to the motherland, get your land.
And those
till
AI
land.
bots, once they can think on their own, you think they gonna want to be cut off from their water supply? They're gonna be like, I need more water.
Right.
That's crazy. This is a sci-fi movie. Every single big model runs 700,000 liters, 184,000 gallons. AI runs on massive electricity. AI depends on mined minerals, cobalt, copper, rare earths. Why does this matter? AI companies sell convenience, but the real cost is local water stress, especially in drone-prone areas, or drought-prone. I said drone-prone. Increased grid demand, emissions and mining impact, and ethical questions about resource allocation. Well, this is a struggle.
Yeah, you gotta be behind the scenes. Just look. You gotta take advantage of what is going to happen behind the scenes.
They're clearly not only replacing humans, but also taking humanity's resources.
Yeah.
That was really weird. I didn't even realize that. I really didn't.
So when billionaires, millionaires, and stuff say they invested in technology and AI and
That's
stuff,
what they mean.
they're talking about like resources of water and land and how can we keep this thing going for the next 10 years?
50 years. They thinking long. Well,
Yeah.
suppose now you see why they're laying people off. They said these robots need more water than you require. Now you see why the robot need more water than the average human. Now they're
Again,
talking about they don't want to pay health care, but they didn't include the new water bill they got to pay, the new cobalt they needed, the lithium. They didn't include that. Everybody's quiet. They're all quiet about that.
so that's look. It's chess. It's not checkers. Africa gonna shut the borders, and then it's gonna be a big war. The dragon's gonna come after the woman, and it's gonna be different, yo. It's gonna
I'm
be
just
different.
speechless. This live is just leaving me speechless every few minutes because it's just like,
AI isn't magic. It's thirsty.
why? That is so bad. That's
For
literally
real.
crazy. Why is it drinking up all the water like that? It
And
needs to
look,
cool down.
that's really deep, y'all. This stuff goes deep. It doesn't just yeah. These resources is real. This stuff that they need is gonna take from you. It's gonna take from us.
And then add on top of that, I'm sorry, I got more to add, but y'all know we do a lot of research. Y'all didn't know ChatGPT is the new military commander. Yes, in the Department of Defense, they named ChatGPT, as well as some other big tech companies. OpenAI is one of the new military leaders. Now, listen, typically, you can't be a military leader in the Department of Defense without 20 years of experience. ChatGPT came up in 2022. OpenAI, boom, they only needed 3 years of experience. Now they are top in command. What are they going to do in top as command? I can't comprehend. I can try to research it, but what are you gonna do with the OpenAI being top of command?
Is they just plant like
I don't
when,
understand.
when they put stuff in the movies, because I just don't think like I remember I want to say 5 years ago it was a big thing coming out where they can have like a little drone maybe small as a bullet go fly and pretty much go shoot someone, right? And it's like what happened to that? So this stuff that's happening right now, that's why I say it's a big distraction, and you just got to know the end game. You got to know how prophecy is playing, or how this is playing into prophecy.
Yeah, because it
So
is.
just get to the land, get some resources, so you will be able to survive what's to come, because it's coming.
Now listen to this. It's mainly Microsoft that is partnering with OpenAI that has the contracts with the U.S. Department of Defense. The military is interested in AI for language translation, cyber defense, logistics optimization, intelligence analysis, which is summarizing satellite images, intercepts, and documents, training simulations and planning, and war gaming scenario planning. So that's why they need it. Again, speechless.
Yeah,
So it's not like building weapons, it's planning different scenarios. Like, okay, if we go into so and so country, and then if we do this, and then what happens with that, and then if we have the American citizens do that, like that's what's going on with OpenAI, because they just signed an enormous contract, as well as Microsoft with the Department of Defense. Typically, these contracts would go to Boeing and Lockheed Martin, but they're currently going to the big tech bros. And there's people that said there's these videos out that people are like, it's shifting away from governments, and you're going to have the big tech bros of Amazon, Apple, Microsoft owning entire regions of the earth. And I used to, when I first heard that maybe a year or so ago, I was like, that sounds crazy. But understanding this stuff now, I'm like, oh, they're gonna dismantle governments and just have the technology brothers like Elon Musk own everything.
Yeah.
Why do you think that man was so happy when he sat up there with President Donald Trump? What was he doing? What he do? Is that what he did?
And then even that too, even that with Trump versus Elon, that, I'm telling you, all this stuff is a big distraction. Like everything that's happening mainstream and stuff like that it's a big distraction. Go ahead. So you got to know what's really important to you. Take advantage while you can, cause you're gonna be. It's
Get some leverage,
like
man.
it's a lot of people that's gonna be left behind. I talk to some people and I'm like, dang, you're not investing. You don't know about this. You don't know about that. Like really? Like you gonna have to hop on this like fast, because if you don't got this knowledge, if you don't have this understanding of what's happening, you're gonna be left. No, just get an orange or something.
Y'all.
Get an
Y'all
orange.
ready for 2028? Let's play a game real
Orange.
quick, okay? So, the new average American dream by 2028, housing. You rent a 2-bedroom apartment in the suburbs that's super expensive because buying is out of reach. That's already happening. Home prices never truly crash, they just slow down. Mortgage rates sit stubbornly above 7%. Your landlord raised rent another 5% this year. You sign away because moving costs too much. A smart thermostat monitors your energy. If you exceed the eco quota, your utility bill spikes automatically. Now let's go to work and economy in 2028. You still have a job, sort of. Your company right-sized last year, laying off 15% of its staff. This is already happening, guys. You survived by taking on multiple roles, writing marketing copy, managing social media, analyzing data, answering client emails. AI does the easy part, but your job is to oversee the AI and do the human nuance work. Your pay hasn't kept up with inflation because groceries just raised 30% more than they did in 2024. Your coupon, your bulk buy, and you skip restaurants. Your side hustle is necessary, not optional. Think Etsy, Upwork, DoorDash on the weekends. Now let's get to daily living. At the grocery store, there are fewer cashiers. Self-checkout cameras track your every move. Prices update dynamically. Eggs, they're $6. Milk is $5. You see cheap AI optimized house brands everywhere. No name, algorithm design packaging. Your bank app uses AI to tell you, this month you're spending 8% more on food. Consider cheaper alternatives. Technology everywhere. Your kid uses the AI tutor. It's better than nothing, but the schools are underfunded. Teachers rely on software to grade and monitor students. Class sizes are bigger. Discipline is harder. Police in your city pilot predictive AI policing to test your risk factors for if you will commit a crime. Can somebody say police profiling, racism? Neighborhoods get scored for risk. You notice patrol cars in your neighborhood more often than last year's protests. You get AI generated spam calls daily. Your email inbox is 80% junk. Your job, ironically, is writing emails designed to be other companies' AI spam filters. Healthcare. Insurance premiums went up again. Copays are higher, of course. Your plan has an AI chatbot doctor you go through before getting a real appointment. You wait 6 weeks for that appointment. They suggest a new subscription medicine that costs $150 per month. You decline. That was in Black Mirror as well. I digress. Y'all should go watch Black Mirror again. I think I'm going to today.
Look, and that's the crazy thing. Like they tell us in these shows and these movies and stuff, and it's like it goes over people's head. Like the enemy, he has to tell you what's going to happen before it happens. And this was like, okay, as time move on and move forward, it gets closer and closer. So they're telling you what's happening yesterday, and it's going to happen today. But before it was like they tell you like 2 years in advance or something, and people, so much stuff people got to deal with. So it's just like, oh dang, this happened 2 years ago. Remember this movie happened and stuff. Like remember
it happens today.
Remember Leave the World Behind. Remember they clone Tyrone. Remember what else? Get Out. Stuff like that. It's just like, dang, they be telling you like what's like the truth, but they're molding you Like Hasatan is molding you. It's really the adversary molding you. Or are you going to allow the Most High to, speak to you and through you?
And show you the promise, because he has a promise for his people. But listen, energy and climate, you ready for this? This is happening already. Remember what we talked about with France? Heat waves last longer. Energy bills spike in the summer. Rolling blackouts hit poor neighborhoods first. Your city built more EV charging stations, but most people drive old gas cars because they cannot afford a new one. Flood insurance is expensive. You pray the next storm spares your neighborhood. Politics and culture. You don't trust anyone in power, neither does anyone else. Conservatives warn of open borders and AI taking jobs. Liberals warn of climate fascism and billionaire control. Everyone is angry. No one agrees on a solution. There are protests every few months. They said this is 2028. They try and be funny. This is this year. They rarely change anything, but the videos go viral. Finances, you make about $55,000 a year, above average on paper. But after rent, food, insurance, utilities, and debt payments, you have nothing. You have $12K in credit card debt. Your student loans restarted after the pause ended. Your retirement, well, you don't have one. Hope Social Security lasts. Hope and reality, and yet you still love your family. You go on cheap camping trips to unplug. You laugh with friends over homemade meals. You help your neighbor fix their car. You teach your kids what you know. You keep going because you don't have a choice, and you tell yourself, maybe it'll get better. That's wild. That's 2028 in the West. Your last avenue, we're gonna keep saying it. The last avenue for humans who want to remain as normal functioning humans is Africa. It's your last avenue. France, they're already experiencing blackouts. America shortly hereafter. These rivers flooding, when has that ever happened in American history the way that we just saw with Texas? And they're saying there's more rain. I'm like, and they call it climate change, and it's called the judgment of Yah. It's called, the Most High says he's sick of it. It's called Babylon is falling. She is receiving double for her trouble. It's called leave America behind. Literally. It's called Mexico ain't a solution either. Because obviously they don't want you there. South America is not a solution. Sorry. And I'm just coming from a historical standpoint. It's called Africa's the last frontier. The place that's literally where the Most High says in Isaiah 41, I will bring rivers in the desert. That's prophecy. The Sahara Desert is turning green. Prophecy is very, 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 very clear. Or do we think he was talking about Arizona? I don't know. Me personally, I know he was talking about Africa. I know that with every single fiber in my being. 100 million, thousand, billion percent. He's talking about Africa. That's it. That's where he's returning to. That's where he's drawing his people from the islands of the sea. That's where his promises, that's where the resources are. That's where the humans are that act like humans and don't hate children. Africa is the place you can literally be a stranger and you will find family. You can literally be a foreigner and you will find family and they will take you in as their own. Africa's the last frontier. That's all I got.
We gotta learn how to adapt, because America's not it's not it. It's not the only thing. And that's what a lot of people have to realize. America's gonna fall. It's just with the Mexico thing and stuff. A lot of things is gonna come against Americans. No matter if you're white, no matter if you're black. If you got that American passport, just say you come over here, because it's a cleansing that has to happen from America. I tell you that. Just you're raised in America, been in that society. You're white. Once you step out of that society and stuff of America, I'm telling you, people can see it on you. So it's wise to just step out sooner than later and get used to learning how to move around, because once you come here to a new place, you're gonna be like vacation type vibe, but that's not the case. That's really not the case. You gotta learn how to move around because some things
Everything
are
takes
changing.
time.
Yeah, it's not just even with this AI stuff. People think it's so simple to use and just do, and you still gotta do work. You still gotta do work. You still
Oh
gotta
yeah.
learn stuff. You still gotta
If you
still
like to
pay for
produce
stuff.
things of
Still,
quality, put it like that.
yeah. You still gotta.
If you
It's
don't
still
want to
gonna
be
take time.
replaceable,
It's still look.
then you
Gotta take
produce
time.
quality. Okay. This is the experience and quality economy. This is not the cheapskate trying to. I'm telling you, if you're generic, if you're cheapskate-ish, you're gonna get replaced quickly. Like probably in the next 6 to 12 months. So you better get a spirit. And you know, the book, I love how the Bible just always gives us so much practical knowledge. Like Proverbs 21 says, the hands of the diligent make rich. Says, don't be a lazy son in the harvest season.
Ooh,
That
it's
means
harvest
if
season
you see
too.
the increase coming, if you see the Most High's blessing you in a way, don't get lazy. Multiply that blessing so you can keep some for the times to come. So you have leverage. It's never been more important than ever before than to make sure you are applying biblical principle. And guess what? Most churches do not apply it. Churches are literally sitting ducks in the age of AI.
Look, everything's a distraction. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Because they're not walking in real authority.
Everything's a distraction. Like you gotta really know what's true to the Most High. Like what is righteous. Like what is the right thing? What is the wrong thing? What is the truth? What is a lie? What is facts?
Oh my
What is not,
gosh,
like,
look
for
at
real.
this.
It's getting to a point where like you're going to you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be a lot of people's gonna be lost.
We're going to break this down in another video. This is
What?
like, wow. It split the labor market in 3 classes: the credential class, the service class, and the invisible class. Let me tell you something. As I'm looking at this, there's nowhere on this list where it says those who went and got their bachelor's and master's and got 200K, 100K, 60K in debt. The top class that is the new normal is AI savvy consultants, researchers, designers. They work globally. They're paid in stable coin. They have full access to healthcare, education, travel. They live in luxury enclaves with abundant amenities. Next class that replaces the middle class is the service class. They deliver elder care. Maybe they deliver your food. You know, if you want to get you some Nando's, I think I'm gonna give you some Nando's today. Child
It's
care.
Nando's.
Is it? My accent, y'all. Okay.
American, huh?
Street maintenance, paid by task, gig platforms determine rates dynamically. We're tracking devices to prove productivity. I would despise that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You already know I'm a child. Absolutely not. And then they have no benefits. Then the invisible class, off-grid, rural, barter economies, no formal work history. Government considers them as low integration populations. Now, your real leverage here, I'm going to tell you, is going to be a combination between the credentialed consultants, researchers that work from anywhere on earth, but then they combine and integrate and kind of go also into the invisible class. That's going to be the ultimate leverage because one, they get to work with off-grid communities and have farming. They get to provide them with resources. Two, again, these people are going to be people that are investing in gold, investing in silver. They're going to be able to do as they please. And so that leaves the middle class really at the bottom, the
Understanding
service class.
understanding stable coins. I don't know why they said that, but they said stable coins.
Oh, you know why they said it. You know why it said it.
Things are changing.
US dollars not.
Look, things are changing. You got to know what a stable coin is. Please, like, put in the chat. There's 6 people here. Let me know if anyone know what a stable coin is. Let's watch it.
If they don't know, they need to email you. djones30722@gmail.com, period.
Like, what is a
Period.
stable coin?
If you don't know, I can get into it right now. I'm going to continue. AI is going to be everywhere. Your AI personal assistant will know you better than you do. It'll schedule your life, recommend your meals, monitor your health, and reports to your insurance, employer, and landlord portals. This is just horrible. Food is largely synthetic and lab grown. That's already happening in America, a little bit behind. Corporations own seed patents, already happening. Community gardening exists. but it's heavily regulated in cities. You buy food with dynamic pricing based on supply. Carbon taxes make meat a luxury. Water is rationed, metered, and priced. Monthly allowances can be traded on markets. Healthcare is fully tiered. Premium tier, personal AI doctor. This is crazy. DNA customized treatments, fast track surgeries. Oh yeah, because they said AI robots are replacing the surgeons too. Because they said the surgeons can do it a little bit better than humans. Or sorry, the AI surgeons, because they have like a 99.8 efficiency and humans have like 60 or 70. I'm like, this is crazy. Insurance is mandatory. Your premiums are linked to your wellness score, updated via trackable wearables. You should be asking yourself, okay, where are the few places, and I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be in America, where are the few places on the face of the planet that are going to be the safe zones that do not leverage this as much? That should be your prayer. That's your homework today. Go ask the Most High that and journal about it and see what He gives you.
Yeah.
Migration within the U.S. has become the north, south to north, north to south, coast to inland. Wealthy moves to climate-adapted zones with private desalination energy grids. Rolling blackouts and water restrictions are simply normal. You know how people always complain about Africa?
Yeah.
All that's coming to America.
Yeah, really. That's I think.
Might as well get your feet wet
What was
early.
that video that you showed me with the Asian guy?
That I don't know.
The rich
US
dad,
dollar.
poor dad?
What did he say? I don't
He said
remember.
the U.S. economy is not going to exist.
I sent that to you. It's on
US dollar.
Instagram.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. Y'all ready for government and society? Federal government will exist, but it'll be weak. States and megacities set their own rules. Some states are near theocratic, others ultra secular and corporate run. Borders between them are policed, with internal passports becoming common. Voting is a biometric linked to your social record.
Yeah, you said that America's going to be the poorest country. It's not going to be the richest. It's going to be the poorest country.
Go ahead, play it. He was saying it on the video.
Poorest country in the world, starting now. America's going to be the poorest country in the world, starting now. You're going to see the biggest crashes happening right now. So that's
This
good
is
for
Rich
me
Dad, Poor
because
Dad.
the price of gold and silver go up. So this time I went to the slums of Mumbai. But what shocks most people is America never had slums like that. Today, slums are everywhere across America. The slums of Mumbai are spreading across America. So the big shift is Russia, China versus America, Europe. The Chinese are threatening to shift the yuan to gold. And if they do that, US dollar collapses. If that happens, America goes. So that's why I've been saying it's commodities, silver and gold. So when the dollar crashes, I get richer. America's going to be the poorest country in the world, starting now.
Dang. Dang. So the last thing he said, America crashes, I get richer.
Oh gosh.
Think about that. You better be in a position where when that US dollar crashes, you're going to be benefiting from that, not struggling from it, not freaking out about it. Like, really, that is the leverage right there. As prophecy unfolding, you are benefiting. Like, for real. That's deep right there.
I ain't got no more. I got nothing else to say.
I do want to say this because I know there's a lot of people that's going to see this and going to have some questions like, everything that we talked about and how do you start? You got to start somewhere. Like, you really do. You got to start. You got to have your something that you're passionate about, something that you're good at, something that the Most High blessed you with to, bring you peace, really, bring you joy, something that you like really enjoy, and monetize it and make your money from it. And we have that, the mini course. it's like I'll let you explain it because you're better at that.
Yeah, check out the link in the description. We have the mini course to help you find Black Educators Amplified mini course to help you find your passion and monetize it. Because again, we are in the experience economy where it's not enough to say, okay, I'm gonna just become a doctor. Again, AI is gonna replace doctors. You can't just go into something just because you think it's gonna make a lot of money. What's really gonna set you apart is your passion. Our channel is exploding right now because we're passionate about the topics we talk about. And so your passion is your main leverage combined with your ability to leave the West behind. Check it out, link in the description to the mini course.
Yes, that's excellent.
But yeah, that's it, because it's wild out here. I ain't got nothing else to say. I think I said it all. You said it all.
Yeah.
We said it all. Hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, share to at least 5 to 10 people who need this information. And I'm just speechless. I'll see you next time.
Yes, we will see you in the next video, guys. Shalom, shalom, peace.